Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai 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 Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram, പിന്നീടാ Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody. Pranam, 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 pranam. Oh. So, what is the sloga today? Huh? No?
Chapter 635. 6th chapter, 35th sloka.
6th chapter.
35th. Sloka number 35.
Asamshayam Mahabaho. Mano Durnigraham Jalam. Abhyasena tu Kaunteya Vairagyena cha Gukhyate. All of us are facing the problem. And Bhagavan says, because he asks, Arjuna tells him, Chanchalam hi mana Krishna, Pramadhi Bharavadridam, Tasyaham Nigraham Manye, Vayori Vasudushkaram. He is like, I cannot hold my mind. It is always vacillating. Chapter number 6. Thirty-four. In the 34th shloka, Arjuna says, on behalf of all of us, the mind of Krishna is restless and turbulent. Chanchalam hi mana Krishna, pramadhi bhalavadridam. What is that? Tasyaham nigraham manye vayoriva sudushkaram. Somebody. Unyielding. I regard it quite as hard to achieve its control as that of the air. I cannot control the air. No, I cannot hold the air. So he answers, Arjuna is putting forth the doubt which every one of us has. He says, verily, O Krishna, the mind is very, very fickle. Chanchalam. Whenever you find the word he, it means it is very well known. Pramadhi bhalavadridam. It pulls me powerfully this way or that way. That is the nature of this mind. Its control and discipline, I consider it difficult. Like trying to catch the air. So Bhagavan says, 35, Asamshayam mahabaho mano nurdigraham chalam abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihyate. Without doubt, O mighty arm, the mind is restless and difficult to control. But through practice and renunciation, it can be achieved. So what does it mean to us? What are the activities of the mind? Where does the mind go? We say mind goes here or there. Where does the mind go? Mind goes to sense objects. That is the job of the mind. Right from our childhood, we have used the mind only for that. Nothing about God who is seated within. Even if we pray to God, that God is outside, that Guru is outside. So the mind has not been trained to go inward. So how to bring it back? Our reasoning or rational approach will confirm that since our mind is always engaged in outward activities, we have to apply the same methodology to make it inward. That is how this Nama chanting comes. Nama chanting is an activity, no? So the mind is engaged. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. It is an activity. We have got 5 organs of perception, 5 organs of action. In the 5 organs of action, this tongue is also there. Speaking. The tongue has got double job. One is to taste and the other is to talk. So we make use of this outward activity like chanting. And whose name I am chanting? Slowly I try to go inward. Slowly I try to watch my chanting. Slowly I try to become witness of my chanting. Slowly I try to train my mind to chant the name. That is one aspect. Another aspect here he says vairagya, abhyasa and vairagya. Abhyasa means regular practice. Everything we have learned only through abhyasa, so we don't need any explanation. Right from writing, talking, anything, eating, walking, everything we have learned only by practice. So whatever we do, we should do regularly, systematically. Practice is something we can. Vairagya. First we will select such are the objects where the mind goes. If the mind has lost its attraction for sense objects, some sense objects, the mind won't go there. Then we slowly try to replace. The sense objects of something other to sadhana or Godward thinking or something like that. Swadhyaya. Because it cannot keep quiet. We have to go along with the mind. Then slowly cut off. Too much reading is not right. Too much hearing is not right. Anything too much will not help us. So then first we have to do that. We all know that here. It slips into mechanical. So too much is always bad. So like that vairagya, slowly we develop this passion for the sense objects. Here he says, you are right, Arjuna, this mind is very difficult to control. He says, how can we yet manage to control the mind? Asamshayam mahabaho manu nur nigraham jalam. Asamshayam, you are right without any doubt. Mind is difficult to control. It is always constantly flickering, chalam. When Arjuna said, I find the mind difficult, Sri Krishna gives the answer, grihyate, but it can be controlled. How? By two methods. Through abhyasa and vairagya. In our daily life, not only in spiritual life, things which are impossible become possible when you do repeatedly the same thing. You get mastery over that thing. When you see somebody playing on the tabla, you think it is impossible. But after 6 months of practice, you also get mastery over it. When I was a boy and saw people riding bicycles, I thought how difficult it would be to ride a cycle like this. But when you try it for a few days, you also do it easily. So it's a question of practice. Abhyasa means practice. That is a very important word. Next is vairagya, a sense of detachment. Why does the mind run about? Because there are so many things to attract the mind. We shall develop a little detachment that will help us in dealing with the mind better. The action of the mind, its fluctuating nature can be controlled by abhyasa and vairagya. This confidence we must have. When you say that an achievement is impossible, then you will not be able to do that at all. You must first have the conviction that it is possible for you to achieve the goal. Then only it becomes possible. What is impossible? Going to the moon was once thought to be impossible, but even that is possible today. So there are many things which we think impossible at one time, they become possible at another time. Therefore, don't say a thing is impossible. We shall do it. This tremendous determination must be there. You must have a tremendous determination. What is the type of taking a piece of grass, you try to empty the ocean drop by drop. With that determination, you must control the mind. Without depression, we must consistently pursue this work of dealing with the mind. Just like a bird which had decided to empty the ocean because the ocean had destroyed the eggs the bird had laid nearby. The bird came, held a piece of grass in its beak and started emptying the ocean drop by drop. A strange sight. But this is what we need in our daily life. We must have the determination. Climbing atop Mount Everest was difficult earlier. Today nearly everybody does it. Women also do it. So I say that there is a capacity in the human mind for achieving control over the mind and realizing the truth of the Atman. We must have faith in that power of the mind, and that in our mind there are hidden possibilities. A child finds a thing difficult, a young man of 20 will find it easy. In this example, you can see that our judgment regarding possibility or impossibility is very relative. So don't go to an extreme assertion. Though a thing is impossible, you can still say, at present it is impossible, I shall do it, I will do it. That should be the attitude. Consider an untrained tiger or lion in a circus party. On the first day, a circus person goes to control it. He or she finds it impossible even to approach the animal. Such a terrible look and growling and roaring, and one gets frightened. But we begin to train it slowly, and we succeed in training the terrible animal. We have seen the snake catchers, They just go and catch hold of their neck. That is what we do. Just as with the wild animals around us, it is all the same with the wild mind. It can be trained. It can be made a servant of our purpose. Therefore, that faith must be there. Let it take a number of years, even lives, but we shall do it. Our concept of time is not confined merely to one physical existence. What I fail to achieve now, I shall achieve it later. But I shall continue the struggle. I shall achieve something even in this birth. And I shall have for the next birth to achieve something remaining. This vast canvas of time is given to all because one has got many things to achieve, one has many possible energies hidden within. And therefore, the scale of time which is given to us in Vedanta is so different from what is given in every other religion. Therefore, Krishna will say later on about this wonderful time scale available to us. So the control of the mind can be done through abhyasa and vairagya. Vairagya is the spirit of renunciation of a mere sensate life. You see a piece of rock there. A drop of water is falling from the top of that rock, falling drop by drop. After some years, you will find that the rock has become eroded by the falling of those little water droplets. I have seen a rock where a person used to make Sashtanga Namaskar, salutations with the forehead touching that rock. I watched it for some years. Gradually, the rock began to develop a dent in it. That is the nature of the repetition. A very tender touch of the skin or a tender drop of water can make a dent on a hard rock. So we can do wonders with this mind. We can control it. Though it looks very unstable and uncontrollable, we shall have to make it strong and steady. That is the work we have to do in training the mind. This is the teaching that is given. We will win. We will win. Defeatism has no place in human life. You may get defeated once, but try again, you will win. It is something like what I had said earlier about the British in the Second World War. Britain lost many battles, but she won the war. So it is the same thing in our daily life. In dealing with the mind, we shall lose many battles, but eventually the war will be won. Control of the mind will be achieved. That should be our attitude with regard to dealing with our mind. If we go back to Param Pujya Papa's life, especially when we go through the first chapter or the passage to divinity, when failure after failure after failure was becoming a reality in his life. He did not choose any other path. He held on to the name with the right perspective. And that is why we are all sitting here in Anandashram. Anybody would have gone astray, no? Because there is nothing to fall back upon. Mounting liabilities, a sick wife, no sign of any success in business. Everywhere it is blocked. But with perseverance, patience, faith, he continued. The result was a finite individual became a universal saint, no? An ordinary person like all of us. So whenever we think about all these things, we just look at our master's life. But it was not a cakewalk, we know that. He paid the price. We don't want to pay the price, but we want to get it. No, that is it. The first chapter he detailed, what all self-denial he made. Food, bedding, dress, how he was able to drop one by one, and exclusively concentrate on this. So the Vairagya was firm, no? So we realize now we have not developed that Vairagya. But we have no choice. We have to develop. How can we develop? Thinking about our own source. No other way that strikes to us now. When we think about our source, we are doing everything except that. Where from we came. In Vivek Chudamani, the 7 questions he asks, fundamental questions. Where from did I come? Konama Bandhu. Who am I? What is me? Katamesha Agataha. So the particular sloka is very, very inspiring. These questions, when we keep on asking sincerely to ourselves, naturally the answer also, for forgetting the answer, just like Papa, without his knowing, all these Vairagya becomes a part of his life. At least for academic sake, we can hear those. Konamabandhu.
What is bondage? Is a second question.
Slogan. Katamesha agadaha. Verse number, any idea? Verse number?
Verse number 48. 48 is answers, sir. 1 second, sir. 48 answers are given.
30?
48 answers.
Answer alla, question. 35, 36? Shanta Mahantu Nivasanti Santu Vasandavalloka Hitam Charantaha. What ya?
45 is answers are there.
Katam Swamin Namaste Nataloka. It starts with the Swamin Namaste Nataloka Bandhu.
From me the answers. Verse 48. Verse 48 they are written. This is answers.
48 is answer.
Before that.
Swamin Namaste Nataloka Bandhu. Anyway, you showed me in the in English, but sloga should be there, and then only Swamin Namaste. Konama bandhu katamesha agadaha katam pradishtasya katam vimokshaha kosavanatma paramak atma Tayor Viveka Katametu Muchatam. These are the 7 questions. Beautiful. Ko Nama Bandhaha. What is this bondage? From where has it come? Katamesha Agadaha. Katam Pradishtasya. How is it continuing? Katam Vimokshaha. How to weaken this bondage? What is Kosavanatma? What is Anatma? Paramaka Atma. What is Paramatma? How to discriminate between Atma and Anatma? When the Guru hears this question, he says, then you see. That's okay. So desperate and needs ask with humility. I am putting these questions. I shall be gratified to hear from you the answers. What is this bond? So like this we have to ask ourselves. When I say I have attachment toward this object or person, I try to analyze. What do I mean by that attachment? When we keep on analyzing, we will find the attachment is not there. So that is why they say we must always try to get this This type of questions. This was how everybody started going within. Vivek Chudamani is a text of Adi Shankara, I think nearly about 600, 700 slokas. It is all a question answer. He asked these fundamental questions. Now when we say we would like to know what is Vairagya, there are places before us, and with that we go inside. Again, if you hear and keep quiet, it becomes academic. But we try to analyze. We do our duty. We are affectionate to everybody. But detachment comes. It will be equally for all. When it is only to a limited person or a limited object, it becomes attachment. The bondage, So first question is, what is this bondage? Tomorrow we'll try, I'll bring that book. It has been beautifully brought out. Those are all very, at least nice to hear. Huh? 4 o'clock, Ranganathan Swami. Why we remember, at the time of taking this by Chinmayanandaji in Chennai, we were all bubbling, because these are the fundamental questions which we were having, And when we came to know that this is the question asked by that disciple to the Guru, we were thrilled. This is exactly we want to know. We have an individuality, anatma. We believe that there is a Paramatma. How to understand both? Fundamental questions. Katamesha agata katam vimokshasya katam vimosha. Where from this bondage came? I came to this world with nothing. From what level I started getting this bondage? And then later on that bondage, first initially, we get bound, the bondage develops between us and mother, us and father, brothers, sisters, relations. Then what happens? When we grow, you find it is slowly diluting. Affection is there, attachment is not there. We have got some other priority. Duty is there, but attachment is getting reduced. Previously, we were depending upon them for everything. Now we are not depending upon them. Everything, We have to analyze ourselves. Our own life is the best teacher for us. And what happened? The 7 fundamental questions. Ko nama bandaha. Before that, he goes. Shishya uvaja kripaya shruyate swamin prashnoyam kriyate maya yaduttaram aham srutva Kritartha Swayam Bhavan Mukhat. The question I am putting to thee, I shall be gratified to hear a reply to the same from your own lips. Please listen, teacher. I am putting forth Kripaya. I shall be gratified to hear a reply to the same from thy lips. Yed uttaram aham shrutva kritartaha. Kritartaha. The disciple puts forth 7 basic questions, and these are the questions we all ask. Rest of the book is the step-by-step answering of these profound questions. Ko nama bandhaha. What is bondage? How has it come upon the self? Kathamesha agadaha. Katham pradishtasya. How does it continue to exist? Katham vimokshaha. How is one freed from it? Kosavanatma. Who is this non-self? Paramakka Atma. Who is the Supreme Self? Tayor viveka kadam yetad uchatam. How can one discriminate between them? Do tell me about this. After having come to such a competent teacher, the disciple pours out his heart, placing before him the thoughts he has been wrestling with. These are profound spiritual, philosophical questions that agitate every seeking mind in every part of the world. Shankara takes these questions, formulates them in a universal language, and presents here. What is bondage? We can read, but this marks the turning point in the questioner's life, from where begins the tremendous evolution toward the Supreme. This is how Papa said reflective. Yes, yesterday we read out, you remember. Then only it will become clear. When he said, ceaseless chanting of God's name, the goal or God or your immortal status is ever with you. Papa writes this letter. Please hear. The goal or God or your immortal status is ever with you and in you. Even when Ramdas's first year's itinerant life was started, he had nearly reached the summit of God realization. 1920 he started. By 1921 end. How is it possible? Then in the course of his wandering life, he came in touch with thousands of sadhus and sannyasis who were continuously running from place to place in quest of that peace which eternally dwelt in their own heart. Papa was aware, the peace is there already, whereas others are searching for it outside. They were wondering, and one and all, as to how Ramdas had realized this never-failing joy and peace, although his life as an itinerant sadhu had been so short when compared to their own. On 27th December 1922, he left. And then he started meeting saints, sadhus, sadhakas. They were all wondering how you are always in a blissful state. Nearly 2 years. So Papa writes, the secret is that Ramdas, through a ceaseless repetition of the divine mantram, side by side with the concentrated meditation on the all-pervading, eternal, ever-blissful, indwelling God, has attained freedom and peace even before his advent into the world as a mendicant. Even before he left on 27th December 1922, he had almost reached the summit. And what he was doing? Chanting of God's name, meditating on the attributes. So questions like this were harassing, but he was trying to find an answer from within. Nobody told him to reduce 3 meals to 2 meals. Nobody told him to reduce that you be satisfied with boiled potatoes with no chilies. Nobody told him to reduce his dress. Nobody told him to replace his dress with coarse color. No, this is even coarse. Nobody told him to replace mat for bed. Because these questions he was directing the questions to himself. All these fundamental questions. That is why he could write that your job is to go to the origin of your and the world life. We thought, only by chanting. No. Specifically he says, side by side. The secret is that Ramdas, through a ceaseless repetition of the divine mantram, side by side with the concentrated meditation on the all-pervading, eternal, ever-blissful. For example, all-pervading. How do we do that? Suddenly we think about the space. Space is all-pervading. Where buildings are put up, rooms are put up, but the space does not get affected by it. Each house is independent, each house is in its own way unique. Each place is unique. Each field of agricultural operation or plantation is unique. But space does not get affected at all. So like that, every word, all-pervading, eternal. We have seen yesterday's when we cook something, it is tasty. Today, no. 5 years back, we developed a taste for a particular color of dress. Today, no. We are watching everything, we are changing. In our own life, we are shifting our priorities. At that time, we heart and soul, we put and then for its completion. And then what happened? So that we can understand it as ephemeral. So is there a thing which is eternal? Then suddenly we find I was there, I was a child, I became an adolescent, I became an adult, I became a youth, I became a middle-aged person, I became a senior citizen. So many changes. But I is there, Then I start thinking, what is that I? That is eternal. So each and every word, ever blissful. Sometimes I am happy, sometimes I am not happy. Why is it that I am not happy all time? The same object or the same condition or the same, at one time, it was so nice for me. After some time, it has lost its charm on me. Why? So my inward journey inward journey reveals to me that normally we compare, we compare everything and then give our judgment. Compare because with our previous experience. So whenever I feel joyful and after some time when I lose the charm, what happens? Again manana takes place. Then I realize that what I have is something different from what I am enjoying outside. So this comparison, makes me realize that here there is always full. The bliss is full here. So the happiness which I get, which is transient, that is why after some time I lose it. Because this comparing goes on. These are all some types of, going within, manana. When he said concentrated meditation, what is concentrated meditation? Indwelling God. All-pervading is indwelling God. Then I try to look at my heartbeat, that is why he was able to say it later. No? My blood circulation, my digestion, hair growing, nail growing, my breathing. How does it take place? I am not doing anything. I have no role in it. So there is an indwelling power, indwelling energy. That is why he was able to bring it out later. So he says the secret is that Ramdas, through a ceaseless repetition of the divine mantram, side by side with the concentrated meditation on the all-pervading, eternal, ever-blissful, indwelling God, had attained freedom and peace even before his advent into the world as a mendicant. And in that particular letter he talks about sannyas. To assume mere external renunciation is of no avail. To assume sannyas in the hope that by taking merely that step you would realize God is perfectly wrong. You have a great mission before you, and your physical and mental powers have to be fully utilized to that end. The vows you propose to observe are detrimental to the proper doing of the great task God wills to entrust you. One word more about sannyas. Sannyas is not a thing to be received from or given to anybody. It is a dedication of our entire being to the Lord and His service. It is a spontaneous wave of aspiration rising from within our own heart. So receiving initiation from any external guru can make the disciple only an apparent sannyasi struggling through tedious and painful courses of sadhana undertaken because of the established rules and regulations, observed all through with the growing ego sense at the base of it. Self-surrender, the path pointed out by all the saints and sages of the world, is the one path by following which alone a man attains supreme status, which as a human being he should aim at. This was written on 2nd September 1931, a few months after opening the ashram. So why we remembered, how much importance Papa gives for this inward journey. Right from the beginning. So when we are talking about this Vairagya and Abhyasa and Vairagya, it is an outcome of pure inward journey. Otherwise, how will I know? I watch people who have got this vairagya. I analyze it by myself. I start trying myself and watch for myself my results. And then it becomes a part of my life. However tempting the situation may be, I may not use it. Or even if I fail or slip, again the resolve will come, I should not do it, I should not have done it. This passion has to come only through inward journey. Of course, by His grace. That is why a person who is having simple living habits, he will attract the attention of everybody. A person who is contented, a person who is not carried away by anything, the mind will interpret. You, for example, you watch yourself. You want to go for shopping. You need a dress. For that you will make him to take out so many dresses from the shelves, Watch. The mind will keep on, something more, something more, something more. Suppose you go there, I want something to wear. Give me one. Go to the bill, pay, finish. Mind will say, there could be better one. But in that process, what happens? Your mind goes on to see so many things. It will all occupy your mental space. And you are choosy also. So these are all things, practical. When you go for shopping, you can watch this vairagya to what extent it is there. You go to a vegetable shop. Suppose you are a regular customer there, the moment he sees you, he put everything and keeps it ready for you. You will not look at other things. You need something to cook, that's all. We were remembering our Wayanad days. Once in 2-3 days we used to go to a shop. The moment he sees us, he would have already packed everything, put it there. No individual weighing also. You give something, that is enough. He will put everything. He knows what we don't like, we like, bas. We need something only to fill our belly. That's all. Need-based life, not desire-based life. Vairagya means it should start from the small things. It may look funny or foolish from the ordinary standpoint. Because bargaining, this, all those things are there, They make you to see so many things so that you develop the desire to possess more and more. We were all khadi wearers. So we don't go to any other shop, automatic, We go to the khadi shop, limited. There won't be so many choices. Limited only will be there. And that also we look upon, Gandhi Jayanti, August 15, we get some concession, 25% or 30%, what they call it as subsidy or something. So we will plan it in such a way we go there. and we take what is needed for our mundu, what is needed for our shirt. We will say so much of meters or something like that. He cuts, binds it, gives, pays money and comes back. So that our attention will not go to the shirts of others. We are not interested. Automatically, it is not that we have scaled something very high, but automatically it has come. There is no interest for something else. How to develop vairagya? That was the question. Started today. Can we say, therefore, a simple habits, not too many choices, contented, what is needed for our requirement that we will buy, not that what is available there. Mind will interpret, this will be more useful, this will be nice, but instead of that, okay, it's all right, this is enough. Probably we can make a start, Harishri of Vairagya through this. Limiting our mind's play to a few objects instead of so many objects. Need-based life. When it happens, when it becomes a part of our life, no other object can attract us. We will not get elated. We will not get depressed. One chappal we buy, if it is okay, everything is okay. If it is not okay, it will bite your skin. Then you will apply some oil or something like that and carry on with it. You buy anything which is needed. Beyond that, you will not go. Especially for a spiritual aspirant or sadhakas, this mantra should be there. Parimiti parigraham. Limited possessions. Without some possession, we cannot exist. But everyone can have that limit, I will have only this much. Parimiti parigraham. Yes, for Vairagya, this could be the first stepping stone. And when we slowly start prioritizing Godward thought, then we find mysteriously our mind is receding from sense objects and concentrating more and more on that direction. We associate with, automatically, we associate with such books, such experiences, such Mahatmas. They need not necessarily be Mahatmas. We will be able to witness the same goodness or nobility in many, many people. Ordinary people. Ordinary people expressing extraordinary values. Vairagya, porada. Is it becoming clear? Does it look practically possible?
That's how much we have to do.
We should try. Parimiti parigraham. Simple living habits. Contented with whatever that is available. You may be able to pay for it. You have the purchasing capacity to purchase anything, but still for you, you will limit to what is needed. Even that will be available for everybody. Kindly think about it. So this is a wonderful question asked by, on our behalf, Arjuna. What is the slogan?
34, 35, 6th chapter.
Chanjalam hi manakrishna pramadi balavadridam tasyaham nigraham manye vayoriva sudushkaram. Correct? If I am to hold, can I hold air? It is like that I cannot hold my mind. So he says, asamshayam mahavaho mano durnigraham chalam abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha guhyate. And the next one he says, if we don't exercise our control on the mind, union with God, yoga is impossible. Asayam yatatmana yogo dushprapa iti me mati. This is what I feel. This is what he says. This is what I feel. Vaishyatmanatu yatata shakyo vaptum upayate. Those who have controlled their mind, to them yoga prapti is possible. So these two slogas, these three slogas, one he is asking on our behalf, then Bhagavan says in two slogas, it is not impossible, it is difficult, agreed. So for that we have to develop this practice and vairagya. If we don't practice, it is difficult to scale the heights. If we practice, it is possible to scale the heights. Something that is related to our workaday life. Good. So this we have to make a note, Some shame. Sixth, what did you say? Huh?
6th chapter. Two slokas he asked the question, 33, 30.
Huh?
6th chapter. 2 slokas he asked questions, 2 slokas Krishna answers.
Chapter number 6. Sloga number
33 question.
33, 34. 33, 34, 35, Ilya.
36 also answered. 2 slokas he asked the question, 2 slokas Krishna answers. 33, 34 is the questions.
Chapter number
6.
Shloka 33,
34,
34 and
35 and 36.
Okay, good. So 13, from 13 we have now moved to 16.
17.
Tomorrow we will try to chant the whole thing. Everybody has written now? 33, 34 and 35. Chapter number 6. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om 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 Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Hari Om Hari Om Hari Om Hari Om